I'm at the banks with my day ones. I got trains going by. I say things with the cops around. I'm scared for my life. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the ranks. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the ranks. Bank of America, the tranks of Atlantis. If I ain't got nobody, I got rob, I got trinkets. Banks and tranks, banks and tranks, banks and tranks, banks and... Do you hear that? That's the sound of paper.
So you're lying.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Banks and Tranks podcast. I am the creator of this podcast, Robert Banks, and I'm with my brother.
Who's a what's it? My name's Trankus Banks.
All right. So, for those of you who are wondering what today is all about, it is the final episode of the Banks and Tranks podcast, and we are revealing what is really going down. So this whole time we've been playing characters named Suhaib and Akif, who then started playing other characters because we are so dedicated to our craft. So today we will take off the mask because this show is getting cancelled, and because you can no longer cancel us, we're going to start off today's episode with our most controversial takes. But since I don't want to take accountability for those, I'm going to go back to the American accent and play the other character, as shall my brother Trankus.
Yippee.
All right. So, as we always do, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody, to the Banks and Tranks podcast. Today we got some controversial takes. Dude, we're getting canceled. They're trying to fucking cancel us for our takes.
And
we haven't even given them yet.
Yeah, and I always wanted to be controversial. You remember that one time I said, I want to be controversial. And today's the day.
Today is, in fact, the day that...
What?
Today is, in fact, the day that we're going to be controversial.
Yay.
And we're going to give our 10 most controversial takes. Yeah. All right, dude. If they're going to cancel us, we can say whatever we want anyway. So let's start it off, man. All right. I'm going to test the mic real quick.
Testing the microphone. Can you hear me right now? Sort of.
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
Okay.
Wait.
What's
this? That's only the front. I was just checking which one was the front side.
Oh. Super cool.
All right. So I think this one's we're off to the races with this one. Start with this one.
Oh my god.
I think my take, dude, if I would go on that show Subway Takes that is more successful than our show, and I would make this.
What's your take?
My take is bisexual should mean that you can date two people, one of each of your gender preferences at least at once. But pansexual people, they don't get more than the two.
Because they're just gay, right?
No.
What?
No.
Pansexual just means super gay.
Nope.
We already heard it from the guy.
Mm-mm.
What's it mean?
Mm-mm. It means that you're attracted to all genders and all, like, you're sexual for everyone. Not everyone literally, but like you don't really have like a preference. It's kind of, I mean, this might be controversial. This isn't one of the controversial takes, so it doesn't count, but kind of the same thing.
That one didn't count.
As being bisexual. Pansexual, bisexual are kind of almost, they're similar. They're, it's kind of like a self-identity thing. Woo! I don't want to get canceled, except I am already getting canceled, so... Bisexual, I think it means you should be able to date two people.
Listen, I agree with that. I think thruples are in. Couples are kind of the old school kind of.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a thruple, because
If everybody is
Oh.
bisexual, they all get 2 people. So that you can have like a 6 people, a sextuple.
Here's sextuple. That sounds pretty good. The sex is already in the name. Yippee. But yeah. Okay, let me give my take. So here's what I'm saying. Hot take. If pedophiles have to announce they are sex offenders, pedophobes have to announce that they kill pedophiles.
I have been
And we've been saying this the
on
whole
the Banks and Tranks
time.
podcast. We've been saying pedophiles, they have to go around, they have to announce that they are sex offenders. They have to make themselves known. I think pedophobes should make themselves known as well so that the pedophiles feel intimidated and don't feel like they need to do their shitty actions again on people.
That's
right?
kind of the thing is
We'll kill ya!
We want a society where pedophiles are not comfortable being who they are, because why are they like that? I'm pretty sure it's because they got 7 terabytes of child porn on their hard drives and that totally messed them up. That's what I'm saying.
All right, and the next one, bisexual is the straights of gay people.
Oh, that's an odd take. What does that mean, Sir Suhaib? Could you tell?
Okay, yeah. So, straight people, they're kind of like, they're like lame or whatever. They're like losers. So, actually, I want to amend this. I want to say bisexual bisexual is to being gay as ADHD is to having like a mental disorder / disability.
So it's kind of like a mental superpower.
No, I'm saying that it's like, dude, like everybody has that. Everybody's bisexual. Everybody has ADHD. Like, you're not special.
I don't have ADHD.
What do you have?
Probably autism.
Okay, you have autism. Well, so you're cooler. Not everyone has autism. You're the like special. Okay, so you're allowed to be bisexual because you know, I'm not. I have to be trans. I have to be gay. I have to be lesbian. I have to be one of those.
Here's my question. So if you're autistic, you're allowed to be bi, but if you're ADHD, you're allowed to be transphilic. What's the word?
What?
Transphilia. I don't know.
What's transphilia?
I don't know.
Is that like being a chaser?
Ooh.
I don't know what you're talking about, dog.
Me neither. Let me get to my hot take.
Okay, by the way, all of these are our shared hot takes. You can't keep having the good ones. What the hell? No, this one's
Sure, you can have the next one. I don't even give a crap.
Teachers who are necrophiles can teach, but they have to keep it out of the classroom.
I agree with that.
100% agree. 100%. I agree with that.
Here's the thing with necrophiles, I'm totally like
I'm neutral. I would say I'm moderate. I'm neutral on necrophiles. I'm moderately.
Like, you guys, like, that's your thing. Just keep it out of my bedroom.
I mean, who are you really hurting but yourself when you do that?
Right. Like, I think it's freaky.
It's weird. It's freaky.
Like, don't make my kids
make sure you're doing it legally. We want to make sure you're doing it legally, though. We don't accept it if you're doing it illegally.
That's kind of thing. If you're digging up graves,
go to the morgue, talk to the mortician, and ask them if they've got any bodies available, and then get the consent of the family. Okay. Pro tip: if you just go for the homeless ones,
easy.
The homeless dead people.
Pro tip: hang on. Are you a profesh? You know some.
So number 5. So you want to go for number 5?
Yeah. So this is our hot take. Number 5.
This is
so bisexuals. They can have kids that are boys and girls.
Oh, dude, yes. Donald Trump was trying to ban this one.
I know. What's up with that?
He's like one child policy for the United States for all bisexual people.
What are we?
What are bisexual people, like Chinese or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What the hell, man?
It's crazy.
Bisexual people, they already have it so hard because not only do the straight people make fun of them for not being straight enough, but then the gay people make fun of them for not being gay enough.
I'm saying the same thing, and with the American Chinese Party like continuing to enforce their glory to the ACP, I don't know why they won't let us have one more kid.
All right, I've got a good one.
Okay.
Transphobes have until 50 to change their hearts or die, but they can be as transphobic as they want until then.
Oh, that's gonna get us
Yeah.
canceled.
Oh, that's gonna be so yeah.
canceled.
Yeah,
It's just like
it's gonna
50
get us get us canceled by the trans people. Gonna get us canceled by the transphobic people. Gonna get us canceled by everyone.
because we are begging for
It's almost
attention.
like we had an algorithm pick this.
No, I think we're begging for
We're
attention.
begging for
attention.
look-
Please give us your attention.
Transphobes. You know, I would say we're moderately anti-transphobe. So we're not radically
Yeah.
anti-transphobe. Like, you don't have to die if you're a transphobe
Until you're 50.
until you're 50.
Because here's my problem. So when you're 25, your frontal lobe is fully developed. When you're 50, your backal lobe is fully developed. So put them together. You put them together, and then you get a whole transphobe. If you're still transphobic after the backal lobe, then I can't let you be alive in society. That's why I'm moderately anti-transphobia. So let me just do the next take because this guy needs a chill pill, if I'm saying that right. And I think we should split it. So bisexual people, we should split it. It's actually gay bisexuals or straight bisexuals. What do you think?
Yeah, so this or neutral, radically neutral bisexuals, 50-50, they don't know what to choose. I think people get this idea that if you're bisexual that you like both of them equally. I think that's why pansexual is such a great term, because it's pansexual,
There's
you know,
no
that there's
ratios.
no ratios.
Mhm.
Bisexual, there could be a ratio, but pansexuals could have ratios too. But I think bisexual, you're like, yeah, so I like 70% of the time I want women, 30% of the time I want guys that kind of look like women, right?
So that would be straight bisexual.
Exactly. That would be like you're borderline straight. I mean, you're not straight. You're objectively not straight. You're objectively
But we're not
bisexual.
going to call you straight.
We're
because
not
straight
saying that you're
privilege,
lesser if you're bisexual.
You can go to Pride with your straight
can go to Pride,
boyfriend.
yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
We don't care.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's say this one together, man. This is I think our most important take here.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. People who don't own a Ford F-150 have to force gender transition if they are cis, and if they are trans, they get a free F-150.
Yeah, I would say we are radically anti-car.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't get this. They don't get being radically anti-car. We love cars. I mean, we love public transit.
I don't really love cars, but I hate
No.
people that hate cars.
I actually hate. I don't like cars. I just don't like cars. But people that hate cars, they're just taking it too far.
Right.
Why would you take it so far?
Exactly.
Why do you have to
hate is a strong word.
Hate, like that's like being
it's like
racist.
the strongest word.
Only thing you can hate that's
after the N word.
Only thing we can hate is AI.
Oh, I hate AI. I think that goes down in hell, down in the...
We're really going to cancel this podcast?
We're out of here because
Wow.
nobody's watching it. Nobody likes it. Everyone hates it. Nobody wants to watch the podcast. How are we going to have a podcast if nobody watches it?
I love this one.
Sure,
There's
sure.
multiple brain levels and Haley Welch is in a low level.
That's a little hot.
That's
Coming
a
in
little
hot. But I agree.
I would say, how many would you say? I would say like there's like 2.
Like normal people in her.
Yeah, there's 2 brain levels. Well, actually, I think there's like 7 brain levels, and we're probably up there in number 1 on like the highest one. And
which is why nobody gets this podcast because we're kind of too smart about it.
We're super smart.
Yeah,
we're like the smartest people, and that's why our final take, coming in number 10. Say it with me, man. Breaking Bad. 3, 2, 1.
Skylar White did nothing wrong.
She did
at all.
Nothing wrong at all.
I mean, let's imagine your husband was Walter White.
Mm-hmm.
You would do the same, like 100%.
Cheat on him and then join his operation.
And then go to a therapist, but actually it's a lawyer. But not Better Call Saul.
Get therapy from your lawyer.
Get therapy from your lawyer, but not from your real lawyer, Better Call Saul. Yeah, I mean, it's just financially makes sense. And own a car wash. I would do that.
I wouldn't fuck Ted, though. I don't think it's wrong that you
kinda
did that.
ugly.
It's just you can do.
It's
girl.
just like if I was Skylar, that's
maybe
the
he's like
one
maybe
thing
he's
I would
an
do
Albuquerque
different.
10. Skylar White, she's like a Los Angeles 10.
It's kind of like
and he's
Olathe,
like
Kansas.
Olathe, the numbers don't even go that high. Numbers don't go past your fingers there because they have to count on their fingers.
10.
Oh, okay. Let's actually be controversial.
Okay.
If you're an Olathe girl,
Die. Death penalty.
he said it. I'm gonna say something different. If you're an
Whoopsie doodle. So while my co-guest figures out the logistical troubles, then yeah, so we're back.
the thing is, if you're an Olathe girl,
You're ugly.
if you're an Olathe girl, I'm not one to judge people on their looks. I mean, look at me.
I'm shallow as heck.
But Akif can. I would say he's a pretty handsome guy, and he thinks that Olathe girls are ugly. So if everybody thinks Olathe girls are ugly, here's my tips for if you're an Olathe girl. If you're a hot Olathe girl, then you're not from Olathe. Go leave. Go somewhere else, please. Olathe is for ugly people. Right? It's an ugly sanctuary. Everybody is ugly there.
You can be ugly in peace. Like you can go outside and you can be like,
if you just happen to win the genetic lottery, you end up being hot in Olathe. Move anywhere. Move anywhere. Go to the trenches of Leewood if you have to. Like
Yepperoonie.
Yeah. What?
I said yepperoonie.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So all right. Anyway. Some of you are probably wondering, how did these two geniuses come up with such amazing hot takes, controversial, cancelable takes? And we've got to confess, we had two main methods. Okay? The first method was make a lot of takes about, like,
just general topics. I wouldn't say there was
general
like
topics, like general topics, right?
Like,
and so like our general topics
on.
takes like bisexual means you can date two people, bisexual is the straights of gay, bisexual can have kids that are boys and girls, just general stuff. Applies to everybody. Everyone. It applies to everyone.
Who doesn't have gay thoughts or bisexual
Who
thoughts?
isn't everyone's bisexual.
Or straight thoughts.
Everyone is bisexual. Everyone is bisexual. Come on. Everyone's trying to tell me they're not bisexual.
Everyone in this room.
Everyone's
in the whole world.
Everyone's bisexual. Okay.
Yeah.
So it applies to everybody. And then our next method. Let's see if I can get a screen recording. I don't have it connected to my computer today. So yep, you guessed it. We actually rolled a wheel.
First,
so you can
first time
see it right here. We have a list: transphobic, racist, sexist, anti-car, arachnophilia, necrophilia, and pedophobia. So these are ones that we're very passionate about. We've got anti-neutral pro, and then we've got radical or moderate. So we use this to come up with our takes. We know other people, cowards, if you will, who use this thing called ChatGPT AI.
Disgusting.
You know, part of the reason we are making these cancelable takes on this podcast today is so that fucking Google doesn't use our likeness based on all of our past episodes that we will review at the end of this episode, so we can explain to you with the title of this video, How Not to Make a Podcast is. We don't want them to use them to make fake controversial takes. Let's give them our real opinion based on this wheel instead of based on AI, mind you. And then they can't do anything to us because we've already done it.
Yeah, and it's like DeepSeek makes deep fakes and all that.
I'm pro DeepSeek.
Me too, because it's Chinese.
American Chinese Party. I have no problem with it. Just wasn't expecting it to be
我很喜欢
Chinese.
中国的 AI.
我的 CCP #1 fan.
But yeah, so we used a wheel, but we do agree with everything we said.
The wheel knows us so well. It's
almost like I want him to be my dad.
Yeah, but anyway.
Anyways.
So Banks and Tranks podcast. The main word that I would use to describe this podcast is failure.
I would say utter. If you put us together, you get utter failure.
Utter failure. But our first episode, whose magic we were always trying to capture with each successive episode, still stands out as one of the most unique concepts that's ever been provided. And so we felt it was appropriate in the final episode of Banks and Tranks that we would, in fact, do kind of a rerun of the first episode, see where everything has been. So the first episode was actually recorded on the day of Trump's inauguration, and also TikTok was going to be banned.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Welch
was on the rise of disappearing.
Haley Welch had disappeared, and we wanted to find her. And something about professors, I don't, whatever.
These kids.
And yeah, we made some like predictions. We had some ideas. We also had a lot of important stuff in episode 2 as well. We talked about Elon Musk and his kind of rise. Now he's kind of fallen.
I actually haven't seen him in the news in like 2 days.
It's been a while, yeah. So I think I want to redo episode 1. So how to make a podcast. And we start.
And was that one our most successful one with 380 views?
Million, yeah.
Wow. Yippee. Let's just do it again so we get all the money back.
Let's get all the money that we spent on gold chains and and I got these new glasses and I don't have insurance.
To be honest, this shirt costs $3 in Turkey.
Yeah, but the hair transplants on your legs cost a shit ton in Turkey. Cheaper to get it in Turkey, but like, yeah, that's a lot of hair transplants.
Yeah, I didn't want it on my legs. I wanted it on my head.
You didn't need it on you already had so much hair on your head. Remember in episode 1 when you were counting all the hairs that you had?
Well,
that was because you got the transplant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted bigger hair.
Whatever. All right. Trump versus Musk.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Trump won.
This one's behind. This is like... Now it's Trump versus Israel versus Iran versus Trump.
And he said fuck you to all of them. He
literally said
fuck these guys.
He literally said they have no fucking idea what is going on and what to do and how to do things. And it's interesting to see Trump so frustrated. I'm wondering it's because Musk isn't giving him hand jobs anymore under the Oval Office desk.
The old first lady. I think the new one, Melania, I think she's not as good.
Well, she did have a book.
Oh, called Melania. Jewelers. I never read it, though.
And it sucked. But Trump versus Trump, we had a lot of stuff to say about Trump in the first episode. We were so worried, I think, about where he would take the country, all the things he would do. We were worried, hey, he might...
Unreasonably so. Right? Because like, what were we even worried about? I'm still here and you're still here, so Donald Trump hasn't done anything.
So ICE has gone around to multiple cities in the country and kind of just kidnapped people. They've deported at least 70 U.S. citizens. They have introduced a big, beautiful bill, which has passed the House, and it'll probably just pass the Senate. I don't see any reason why not. And it's basically just big cuts for the billionaires. Even Elon Musk is unhappy with it. Elon Musk is trying to start a Nazi party after getting very, very, very predictably ousted because he's kind of a dumbass.
He's also not very good at the Nazi thing.
He really isn't.
Bottom 10%.
It's like, apparently his grandpa was a Nazi, and I think he's just trying to relive the glory. It's like, you remember this? It's an old movie. It's called The Last Jedi. Force Awakens.
That one about...
You remember this? It's about a guy.
I saw it on the
So it's about a guy, and
movie.
he wants to be like his grandpa, who was like a big evil Nazi Hitler guy. But then he instead comes off as a really, really lame kind of bitch.
Here's my question. So why didn't he just do the thing that the girl boss girl did? Oh, because he hates women. Because the girl boss girl, her grandpa was like super Hitler, like electricity Hitler, but then he didn't try to be her.
I mean,
Ray.
you mean she didn't try to be him? Like, or you're saying Kylo Ren did not try to be like Rey? That's what you're saying. Are you saying Rey didn't want to be like Palpatine? What are you fucking saying?
I said it crystal clear, but I'm not even gonna say it again because I said it crystal clear.
You did not say it crystal. I get it. You're gonna make fun of my speech impediment that I got from Joe Biden, right? I inherited. I inherited Joe Biden's speech impediment, ladies and gentlemen. I have dementia now. I mean, stutter. I have a stutter.
Do it.
Okay. Fuck! I didn't do it that time.
This is how you do a stutter. Stutter.
Failure.
Yeah.
All right. So
anyways, Elon Musk, he's the biggest crapshoot ever in my whole life.
It just seems like we're kind of always spinning in circles with the Trump administration. Are we gonna get tariffs? Yes, we're gonna get. No, we're not gonna get tariffs. Yes, we will get tariffs. We'll put a pause on tariffs. TikTok's gonna get banned. No, we're gonna do a pause on the TikTok ban. The TikTok ban pause. 100 days have passed. Oh, let's put another 100 days on it. Oh,
wait, really?
Yeah,
really?
I guess that brings us to the next one. TikTok is not banned. It was banned for like 2 hours.
Hang on, let me watch some just to check. Dude, that's so funny. Dude. Wait, that's an ad.
Oh. You know, they've been putting more ads in TikTok lately. You know, you used to, if you wanted to stalk somebody on TikTok, like you saw a hot girl and you wanted to go through all of her posts and jerk off or whatever. What did I say? You're looking at me like I said something crazy.
Keep going. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And like you're scrolling through, and then there's always like an ad now, and it's like an ad for a body pillow.
Is it because of the Trump administration? Do you think? Like, was it them?
I think TikTok, they keep wanting to make money. They keep.
There's no way China would do me wrong like that, right?
What does Hawk Tuah girl dark faga ACP 2028 president elect mean?
So that's kind of how it goes. Is our next? What are the spokespersons for the new president in 2028? If we have elections.
Wait, we might not have elections? Did Elon do something? Did he fart?
No, I'm just saying like Donald Trump released some stuff of Trump 2028 on the official White House.
Well, that means he's running. That just means he's running for the election. We can still win.
You think he can win? He won last time.
I mean, Zoran Mamdani won in New York against Andrew Cuomo after they were spending some billions of dollars. Michael Bloomberg was using his own millions.
Oh my god, wait, that means war on drugs is over. The drugs won. Right?
Yeah. Hooray!
I love that.
Drugs!
Okay, so anyways, what's the next topic?
Hawk to a girl, dark faga ACP 2028 president-elect. Are we going to explain that more?
Let's see.
You wrote this one.
Yeah, I did. So let me just like tell you guys. So dark faga, we've been working with that for a while. Fuck America, gay again.
Fund
America, gay again.
Fund America,
gay again.
Fund American gays again.
Right, and
Fund American gays again.
And
hey, bring out Aladdin. Bring out Aladdin. We need some gay representation. Can't just have a bi person here.
Oh my god.
Hey! Hello, Aladdin. How's it going?
So I was just thinking about the faga thing. Is that kind of rude because like it's
kind of rude?
Isn't it kind of rude because of the F slur?
Well, from where I'm from,
I'm also not allowed to say that because I have a girlfriend. So
right. You're allowed to say it. You're gay.
But I have a girlfriend, Katriana.
we have footage of you at the male strip club in Atlanta.
You mean in Agrabah?
In Atlanta.
Well,
It was a Disney themed strip club.
Yeah,
male
I was
strippers.
looking for the Disney. I was looking for a hidden Mickey over there.
If I'm not mistaken, you don't work at an MLM. It's actually you work as a male stripper, and your stripper name is Aladdin. Your actual government name is Greg. We know this. We have.
What are these accusations? You think
Catriona is your boss?
My girlfriend can be my boss too.
Right, but she's the owner of the
MLM
Agrabah gay
factory. What?
All right.
This can't be happening.
So this is some hard-hitting
oh my
investigative journalism that I believe I've brought to everyone's attention here.
I just don't know why you would lie to your face. Like, first of all,
look, Aladdin, we've been friends for a long time. I know.
That's why it feels a lot worse getting backstabbed. I'm not
backstabbing you. You've been getting stabbed in the arse for for so many years. So many years by Catriona, who's actually not paying you all of your tips back. She's actually taken away from some of your tips. We found this.
Well, that's okay because
Philly G, your boy toy, he actually reported this to us. Philly G.
I don't even know who that is. Who the hell is Philly G?
Oh, Philly G is your straight alter ego's best friend, but also you, the gay alter ego's lover.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
I don't know. I frankly don't understand this. Can I talk to
Hood Classic?
Hood Classic.
Yeah, what's up?
Hello, Hood Classic.
Dude, where's my hood? I'm kind of just classic right now. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, so it turns out your gay alter ego, Aladdin, has been fucking on Philly G. How does that make you feel?
Hang on. I know what's missing. Give me those sunglasses.
These are mine.
No. The ones that are mine.
With this, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you say? I couldn't really hear you.
So I was saying that you transformed into your gay version.
What the
and
fuck?
I don't have a gay. Yes,
I don't have a gay
you
version.
You were literally you put on that hat and you became gay.
I don't have a gay version. I'm the most straightest man on the planet. Dude.
Well, yes. Well, you're half of one man who has suppressed both his straightness and his gayness to be a fucking Walmart severed loser. And now you've got a straight half, and this is the straight half that I'm talking to. And the other one is the gay. You know Catriona, right? Your
Who?
Your employer.
Is that even a fucking name?
Catriona.
Dude, Sirhabe. What kind of bullshit?
All right.
Why are you always on your bullshit?
It's Sirhabe.
Sirhabe?
It's Sirhabe.
Sirhabe, whatever the fuck. I don't care. I'm just like, you're throwing all these accusations around, and it's really like
the
messing
British
with
Parliament
my head.
Is not going to be happy.
Yeah,
with this.
I don't give a fuck about British Parliament. I say break it all down, boogie style.
All right. That was not very productive, I don't think. Did you just wink at the camera?
For the girls. I have a lot of female fans for some reason. It's crazy.
Well, I believe they're fans of your alter ego, Aladdin.
What? Who is that? You're just making shit up.
Do you ever remember that around 9 o'clock you just stopped being conscious?
How would I remember not being conscious?
Well, you just...
I would be not conscious.
Have you ever seen the time 11:15 p.m.?
I feel like those times are like sleep time or something.
Nope, you don't sleep.
Where do I go?
You've got photographic evidence.
Where do I go?
You go to the strip club, the male stripper strip club.
What?
With a hat on.
Am I like one of the strippers?
Yes. You work for a woman named Catriona.
Dude. That's all a bunch of. I'm a rapper. You don't understand this, right? I have a rap career. Why would I be a stripper?
Because the stripper career is what makes the money, not the rap career.
Here's the thing. If I were to be a stripper, why wouldn't I just be a firefighter instead? It makes way more money, and it's basically the same job.
Well, the reason is because of your original occupation, although I am under contract to not explain what your original occupation is.
Why you sign an NDA or something? You know those aren't real, right?
Yes, I did sign an NDA. Okay. I cannot say whether or not your original occupation was a flasher. And whether or not you are the...
This is all a dream. I'm going back to sleep. No. Oh, what's up, Sue Bob?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
So, let's go to this...
What's the next topic? Yeah.
So, I've just been... I've just been thinking about this.
Stop thinking. Can you just say it already?
How do you rizz professors, man? That's we covered that in the first one, but we didn't see. We saw what the setup was. We didn't see anybody. Let's get some testimonials. All right. I believe you went and you rizzed up a professor. What was that like?
I tried it. On my forensics professor.
Forensics, yeah.
And he was like,
class. Everyone should take forensics.
He was like, yo, I can't really mess with students. And I was like,
okay,
we don't have to tell anybody. We can just do like some patty cake or like a winky face or something. You know, I was texting him actually. You know, it sounded like I was talking to him, but this was all through text. Right. So some of the emojis might have been mixed around or something, but maybe that was confusing. But when I got his number, because I was like, oh, well, he said he had it on his website. He had it on Canvas.
You were doing this emoji?
No, what? I don't even know what that emoji means, to be honest. And if I were to use it, I'd probably use it if I was like drunk or something. But I was perfectly 100% sober, sound of mind, texting this forensics professor. He had his number on Canvas for like...
Yeah, you don't drink alcohol, you just do drugs, right?
Yeah, because they're legal. Because they won the war.
They won the war.
Yeah, so it's fine. But that's the thing is, like, I was texting off the Canvas number, and I was like, oh my god, like, he's not texting me back. He texted this girl professor next, who's actually his wife. I was trying to show up to both of them and use all my tips because my problem is like I see these people do stuff online and they don't try all the genders. I was gonna do my trans professor next, but I don't have one. So, anyways, but that's kind of how it went. The woman, she wouldn't give me the time of day because she was like, oh, I'm a married woman. Oh, I'm married. Everyone knows you're supposed to rizz up the married professors because they're 100%
they're
more
always
likely
going to cheat.
Exactly. But these guys, they didn't. Maybe because
the students are always cheating. That's always giving them an idea. They're just cheating on my test.
Like the professors, now they're learning AI to get their PhDs. Like, I don't know what the deal is. But,
my God. Back in the day, they used to use a wheel. They used to have a wheel for every major.
Exactly. The Mesopotamians,
wheel for every minor.
The Mesopotamians
then they started doing
wheels.
They would put a wheel for every student in their classroom. Which one am I going to cheat with on my wife?
And they don't do that anymore. Everyone's like, oh, I'm monogamous.
They taught this in law school. I went to one session of law school, and they taught this in law school that one of the things that a divorce lawyer can do is it's really easy for your professor. Just look for anything wheel shaped and flip it around. It could be a wheel with all the names. A lot of the professors, they're old. You have to use analog technology like real life wheels. Smarter professors, they start using the digital wheels, but you can find the digital wheels too. And this is how you find the digital wheel is thanks to our sponsor, Square Shark. Square Shark allows you to hack whoever has a VPN. You can break through their stupid fucking VPN. Those VPNs do not work. Everything that you get sold online does not work. Raycons are fucking ass. Squarespace, I don't know, maybe it's okay. all of the VPNs are fake.
Oh
okay?
my god, how about Wix website builder?
The only thing that I trust is Athletic Greens, and that's because I know one guy, Cody, Cody with the Shody, not Cody Co. He's a sex pest. Cody from Some More News. She's always slurping down the Athletic Greens.
That's good. Did she have any for
AG1.
us? You know.
Square Shark, you can use it to hack into anybody's VPN and take all of their fucking data. We don't give a fuck. Give a rat's ass. We're gonna sell that shit on the dark web.
Here's what I'm saying. Did people use our code last time? They didn't, because nobody's watching this podcast. We're making a podcast. Nobody's watching the podcast.
Nobody's watching the fucking
Nobody's
podcast.
watching it. That's why we're ending the podcast. We're ending the podcast. This is the last episode of anything we're ever gonna make on the Banks and Tranks video title. Right? I mean, I guess. Right.
Yeah, but professors, if you got
Oh yeah, I wasn't finished my story. They wouldn't cheat on each other with me, or with like I was just like, okay, we can do like all three of us, and they're like, no, we're monogamistic. You can't be monogamistic if there's two of you,
especially if they're bisexual.
That's already by God submistic, okay?
Because we all know if every professor is bisexual, and bisexual means you can date two people of the different sex, then they can all do it.
Oh, I just realized.
Because you're the same sex as the guy.
So the girl would be breaking the rules.
Dude, so you have to just switch to non-binary. Guys, new method just dropped thanks to the bisexual patch. If you are non-binary, this is a hack. So if you're bisexual, that means you can date as many non-binary people as possible. Because it's like a neutron. It's still hydrogen.
It adds mass but no charge.
It's just deuterium now. It's just like it's an isotope. We have invented a new thing. It's called isotropic.
An isotrope is not a thing, I don't think.
Isotopic.
It could be something else. Yeah, try isotopic.
Isotopic polycule.
Cule.
Isotopic polycule.
Cule.
This way, you can have
as many people as you want.
You can be in a quad with 60 people as long as
you're doing the rules.
56 non-binary people. Or you can be double gender. You can have one double gender person.
Wait, how come people don't do that? What if I want to be a boy and a girl? I can't pick. I'm too indecisive.
You can. It's called gender fluid.
Yippee, can we date as many gender fluid people as possible in the bisexual polycule? Or do they add too much charge?
It's tough because you have to have... So, okay. You know how like particles have like their spin? Mm-hmm. And then you can have either... Wait.
Is this that book, Gender Physics? Is this covered in that?
Yes. So, chapter 16, page like... It's like deep into gender physics. So... Just like how every quantum particle has like a spin, and they're not actually spinning, but it's like their inherent angular momentum that
it's
every
like
particle
you got your
has.
up spins and your down spins.
And yeah, upspin and downspin kind of cancel each other, right? With their momentum, then it leaves like zero momentum. If you have two particles in superposition, they could their spin. If one spin changes and the other spin changes, so superposition does not, not superposition, quantum entangled. So it doesn't mean that just if one is upspin and the other becomes upspin. No, it means that when their spins change, they change at the same time.
Okay, so can't add more gender fluid people because it's gonna like.
Well, I'm saying you can add a gender fluid person, but so somebody who's gender fluid, they have like a spin.
Do they get canceled out with a straight heterosexual cis man?
Well, they need to have somebody with the opposite spin, not the opposite charge. So you can think, because you can think gender is like a charge, right? Mm-hmm. But then spin is like, am I more male or female, or am I more like, this, So gender fluid people, they have a spin. That's like the fluidity. So it's like, I feel like I'm male right now, then tomorrow I'm female. So they have to. So the other person has to feel like they're female today. Okay. They have to be male tomorrow. If you want to date,
complementary.
Exactly. The spin had to be opposite.
Gotcha.
Or you have to break up every other day. or with the period cycle.
What if
the
we
cycle of
cut
the gender
fluid people in half? Solomon in style.
No, it's like how
So
you can't. No. It's like how you can't cut particles in half to get like. It's like how you can't cut a magnet in half.
Oh, it just makes two magnets. Yeah. Well, that sounds solved. What's the next topic? Your mom.
Yeah. So we've covered episode 1 basically. That was pretty much everything in episode 1. But we did want to cover some stuff in episode 2 that was really important, and that was how to make money at your job. We wanted to readdress this, and we wanted to actually
talk to make money at your job.
Yeah. So I think one thing that we didn't do in the last one is go deep enough into like a bunch of different fields. We kind of talked vaguely about what is your job. So let's talk about a bunch of different jobs real quick. So doctor, how to make money at your job as a doctor.
I don't think you can.
My thing is, I think you should commit medical malpractice and then record yourself doing it, go viral, and then be like, they're trying to cancel me for doing medical malpractice on a black patient. And then, but I didn't do medical malpractice. My patient is just black. And then all of the Trump supporters are going to come in. They're going to be like, have my money for, and then it turns out there was no medical malpractice. They were just trolling, and then they get up all their money. So that's number one way to make money these days at your
grifting.
Job is Republican grifting. We didn't have this at the last one. Yay! This is a classic
Here's my
strategy.
problem, though. Seems a little bit tough because you got to go through like 8 years of schooling and then residency, and then you get $400,000 of loans.
Dude, but imagine how much money do you get from the Republican grifting? So much money,
like $100,000.
And you can start a whole career of
max.
Republican grifting, and then you have another new job that you can.
Okay,
make
you know what?
at.
Sold. You sold me. Yeah. Okay.
Doctors. This one's only available for anybody who works kind of like a public service job where they have people's lives in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Cops. Cops are so good at this one. Cops. They already get paid at their job by joining the police union. And then not doing
Aren't
their job.
Aren't they kind of the OG
OG
Republican grift job?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
So we just need to branch the propaganda onto
like
other
doctors.
stuff.
Doctors can be cops, firefighters. You know, we need some firefighter
Every job
grifters.
should be a cop.
Yeah. So start being a cop. Start being a cop at your job.
Let's see. One job I was kind of thinking of was sort of like an aquarium runner. How do they make money at their job?
How does somebody that runs an aquarium make money at their job? I think the answer's staring us right at the face. Got exotic fish everywhere. They've got all of this. The easiest thing to do is, so you want to take all of the fish food, make a fake website that says this is fish food that you and your fish can eat. Then sell it to a right-wing grifter who has a right-wing podcast and trick them, pay them $100 to eat the fish food on the podcast in front of the camera, and then make a viral clip out of that, post that everywhere, and now left-wing people are going to pay you money on Patreon. So that's our second one, is left-wing non-grifting, left-wing pranking.
This is perfect because we're moderate anti-car, so this really aligns with this really aligns with our views from a wheel that we took. So it's really good because we're also radically neutral about trans folks.
We're radically jihadist. Well, no, we're not. We can't say that
one on
I
camera.
can't say that. I can't. We're not radically jihad. I can't even get canceled by like the Republicans.
The CIA.
I just want to get canceled by the left-wing people.
I just want people on Twitter to like make a fuss about us so that we get money.
Okay. So here, come on with a new job.
Okay, here. How about this? So you ever did a typing test on a keyboard?
Yeah.
So there's actually a job called typists where all they have to do is
type really
typing
fast.
tests. Yeah, that's where that skill comes in. So one thing I was kind of thinking of, you make a lot of money at that job, but the question is how to make more money at that job. So one thing I was kind of thinking...
This is interesting. We've listed a few jobs where you don't make money at your job, really, doctor. Mm-hmm. And now we have a job where you do make a lot of money.
But we want to make
Because,
even
dude,
more.
it's so easy. You just type what number you want into your bank account, and then they just give it to you.
Here. So the way to do it with a typist is you can actually switch tabs very quickly. If you do it very quickly during your job,
tab, you can actually
the
just
problem
switch
is
windows.
people typically they like are spying on you. Your boss, Catriona could be her name, for example, or other, and she could be staring at your computer as you're typing away, but for 1 second she has to sneeze. She goes notice how when you sneeze you close your eyes so you can't see anything, and you turn away too, so it sort of gives you a leeway to switch the tab. Then you can start typing 1 or 2 letters, a couple words in a Google document. Eventually you'll have a whole book.
Yeah, and then you can take that book, go on to a podcast, and talk about how your typist job was trying to cancel you for writing a book during your job.
So that's only the first step. Once you've created a book, that's an entire source material for further things. So at your typist job, you just came up with a book, you publish it, you release it, it's a success, it's wonderful, it's amazing. You wrote it at 2 letters at a time for like years. Eventually you have a book.
If you're typing so fast, you could probably write like a few words.
That's the thing.
Every
you should be able to sneak it in. You should be able to eventually.
And this also, like, you can work with somebody else who's really good at coding. They can make like a sneeze coder. And so what a sneeze coder Hey, don't laugh. This is serious. What a sneeze coder is, they track every time that a person can sneeze using this special algorithm called a series of wheels.
Okay. So when the sneeze coder
goes
finds, then you have an extra second.
5 milliseconds to switch. It's like, sneeze detected,
So you can type in 1 more letter in a word, and then you'll have your book in no time. The next step is take that book. You still have some off hours. It's a 9 to 5 job. You still have 5 to 9 the next day. So using your 5 to 9 time, which they don't tell you about, you got to use that to make money at your job, is to make money off your job, about your job. You've made the book during the job. Now you take that book, you take it to a director. The director makes a movie adaptation of that. That makes $1 million because it's the best book ever. You made a movie. Then you can make a video game based on the movie. That video game can be coded by probably the sneeze coder. He seems very good. Sneeze coder can make the video game. The video game adapts the movie, which is already successful, already making you money. You're making even more money at your job because you're getting revenue from the movie as at your typist job. Then the video game. So then that also makes like a little bit of money. Like, video games are pretty profitable. Like, they're really expensive now, but if it's on the Nintendo Switch 2, it's going to sell like crazy. So after that, the video game's going to exist, and then you can make a graphic novel adapting the video game, which will make even more money. So you'll have a book, a movie, a video game, a graphic novel. Then you could adapt the graphic novel into an anime, and you can make even more money. So yeah, well, if you use the finance Sims, you're gonna be making like a.
And after all of that, you could have a controversial take on Twitter, and everyone will try to cancel you. And then you can be like, everybody watch my anime, and then all of the right wing people, they will glaze your anime, and they're gonna be like, they're trying to take hot women out of the anime. They're trying to take Miss Typina out of the anime because she's got a typewriter on her boobs. No. You can't do that.
And that guy is gonna make your anime so wildly popular that Japan's gonna make a live action adaptation of it for free.
Money.
You're gonna be swimming in it.
All right. And then our last tip for how to make money at your job. What's another job?
Barber.
Okay, I got this one. So at the barber, you can work really hard to be a really good barber. Give the best cuts, and cut people's hair.
Wait a second.
Nice, and then make TikToks out of it where you're doing karaoke with the person who's getting their haircut, right? One time we were doing like a party, me and my mom. My mom was throwing this party for her friends, and she really wanted me to sing, because I've got a beautiful angelic voice that's amazing at singing. You'll hear it later in our remix of Banks and Tranks and whatever.
You should do a chorus, like a choir thing.
What was the Limp Bizkit song you wanted me to do?
Break Stuff.
Break Stuff, and you'll hear it in my remix. And so, but then she wanted to get in a little bit more practice because she really loves to practice. I don't need that much practice, but I was like, you know what? You want to practice, whatever. And she also wanted to cut my hair. She cuts my hair. So she was cutting my hair, and then we were practicing, and I'm like, wow, this would make some great internet content. This thing organically happening right now. But I hate my mom, so I decided not to make the viral video that would change my life and her life.
Boo. Actually, I think that's a great idea for how to make money at your job. One thing I was thinking, you got me in the first step. You were saying do hard work at the job and then make hard work doesn't get you money.
Let's be real, and this is maybe 11th take, but it's not controversial.
Hard work does not pay off.
Okay, imagine this.
Imagine this. You make a podcast.
You've got two guys putting in more effort into their podcast each week. They get a new PC. They plug their iPad into the PC to show what's going on. They get another camera. They get a new mic set up. They get a bucket hat. They get this cool Waves poster that you're seeing. You get.
Well, actually, we still couldn't get a second chair. I'm still sitting on a bed.
Well,
but
you know,
I think that's mostly because.
Well, you said you didn't care.
I don't care.
Yeah. I got these glasses, this chain. This is like $7,000 from American Eagle.
Oh, not to mention this shirt, which is 7,000 lira.
Isn't that like $10?
Just do the conversions in Turkey.
And we got Chef. He was specially made at the puppet
Whitey Tidy Factory.
Whitey Tidy Puppet Factory. It's part of our conglomerate, you know. Cindy Elaine Osborne, if you're watching this, I want to fuck you. Yeah, and you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, I even lost my job for this podcast. I like quit my day job, and then I was like,
for a 3-second joke where you say I lost my job at the Whitey Tidy Factory.
Then I got fired. I didn't get fired. I quit. So,
call that a digital dick print.
We interviewed a bunch of necrophile teachers to get like the inside scoop on what's happening in these classrooms.
Which is why we're okay with them teaching.
They don't, to be honest, I don't think like, they don't really kill, they don't like killing people. Like, killing people. So they're never going to kill the kids. So they're not attracted
They keep it in the beds.
They're not even attracted. They're actually not even attracted.
Like, I actually heard that
the dead bodies have to be at least 30 years old. Not just the person. The person has to be 30. They die, then they have to be dead for 30 years, and they have to be like an old rattly skeleton filled with bacteria and a whole microorganisms that live over all of it before they start like to the dead bodies.
And I thought I liked older women. Bad badumcher. Okay, one thing with the necrophile teachers is like, Loki, they're pedophobic. So it's
they are pedophobic. They actually they have to announce themselves.
Right. When the pedophiles are there,
they'll be like, we are necrophiles, but we are also pedophiles. So we will kill pedophiles, and then we will fuck the dead body.
Whoa. Yeah, well, after they're dead, their views go over to like hell or heaven, right? So the souls are gone. It's just about the body, you know. Necrophilia. It's
like,
just about
I don't know,
the
if it was a pedophile that did Ramadan every year, then they would go to heaven.
That's true. That's kind of how the math works out. Yeah.
As long as like they could have gotten legally married in like, you know, one of the countries where they let you marry children or whatever, and then they were a pedophile there. They could have married like a 15-year-old in Pakistan and their cousin, and then they could have come here and
I was gonna say, as long as it's not their cousin.
It is their cousin. So we're going for the max. And then they just fast during every Ramadan. And they can still go to heaven according to Islam. They can be a pedophile and go to heaven. There's actually
mathematical. There's a mathematical proof.
Literally nothing stopping somebody who is attracted to minors.
You know what I will say though,
in Islam, like, and also they can even I'm pretty sure they can usually get away with having sex with minor wives without consent.
Here's one thing I want to say.
Consent anyway. But,
here's one thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Islamic sheikhs, you don't see them in the news being like pedophiles.
You don't see them in the news.
I only see Catholic priests.
Catholic priests. And that's why, because I think despite the fact that Muslims, they can't, Christianity, I don't even think they allow that. I don't even think they allow it. Muslims, they still don't do it.
You know, it's kind of
because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided them. Yeah, you thought this was going to be anti-Islamic. This is actually pro-Muslim. You know what? I'm anti-Islamic and I'm radically pro-Muslim. I love Muslims. I love Muslims so much. Zoran Mamdani, I love him.
This
I love
is
my
a
family.
Non-controversial take.
It's controversial. It would be controversial among all my friends.
This is a controversial take.
My Muslim friends, I don't think they would like me to say that, but I love them. I don't really care for their beliefs, you know? They're always like, you know, judge the sin, not the sinner. And I'm saying, no.
Judge the belief, not the believer.
Judge the belief, not the believer, you know?
You said it rhymes. Believer.
Believer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Necrophilia, pedophilia?
So, yeah, how to make money at your job was
a success. We taught everyone our tricks.
Just do a right-wing grift. Oh, yeah, also dropship. Like, if you're a typer, you can also switch the tab to, like, Amazon. You can switch the tab. Actually, I like this one better. Switch the tab to AliExpress. This only works without the tariffs. You know, as long as the tariffs are still paused. So until the tariffs go in, switch to AliExpress, order some stuff, and then switch back. And then switch to Amazon.com, sell the same stuff that you just ordered for a higher price, and just keep doing this at your job over and over again. You'll make like an extra $500 every month or something.
Superb.
So that's a lot of money if you're
superb.
All right, I think this brings us into our final topic, and that is, with a heavy heart, how to not make a podcast.
Starting with the Banks and Trank rank.
We'll get to the ranking. I think I want to actually start
ending with the Banks and Trank
ranking, the final ranking of all the episodes. So, how to not make a podcast. In these 21, this is the 21st episode. In the previous 20 episodes, we've learned many lessons as to what you can and can't do in a podcast. So actually, we are going to go through our podcast rankings now.
And now we're going to be starting with the Banks and Tranks
ranking. Ranked. Banks and Tranks ranked.
Oh, you, sir, are a mouthful.
Yikes. So, yeah, I have
opinions and thoughts.
I have opinions and thoughts. We both have our own. Usually we don't defer that much on the lists that we do. All of our controversial takes we came up with together. We both believe in that. We both actually independently thought of those things. If he thought of it somewhere, and then I was having a dream and it came to me in my dream from like Satan or whatever. I don't know who the fuck. I don't know who's in my brain these days.
It's because we're pro-Satanists. It's pretty radical, progressive.
So, we wanted to rank the Banks and Tranks podcast and kind of do like a really series retrospective kind of, you know. So this is a cool episode, kind of like our early episodes. This is kind of a double episode. We kind of finished the first episode of this double episode, the first hour. We're an hour and 6 minutes, hour in.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to go into the next however long.
I was going to say,
take us a while.
Back in the day, we didn't have a timer. Now we have a timer that we are outwardly defying.
And how to not make a podcast. Don't have a timer if you don't want to make a podcast. Have a timer if you do want to make a podcast.
Lesson 1.
Lesson 1.
Now let's get into our rankings.
All right. So I'll go first with my ranking.
Sure, Habe.
Number 20 should be a surprise to absolutely no one. I think the bottom 3 we both agree. So let's just get. So our bottom 3 are
number 20,
crafting the perfect
dad joke.
So
too much Muslim. Too much Islam.
I actually like that it was Islamic. I don't like how long that we were Islamic for a whole episode. We did the whole we also did the Mickey 17 review, which I don't think gelled with it. the only really saving grace was actually the title.
Making the dad joke.
Making the dad joke.
I say what the hey all
that
the time.
That should have just been the episode.
Mhm.
We could have cut literally everything before, shaved it down to the intro where we talked about like Shrek. I actually like that part. I like.
Oh
Shrek
yeah, that
bit.
one's funny.
Go from Shrek, go to the dad joke. It would have been perfect.
So lesson 2 of how to not make a podcast: shave
don't
off.
overextend. Yeah, don't.
I was gonna say
overextend
shave off the scraps.
Yeah. Just be willing to edit and cut yourself. It looks like those other podcasters don't do any kind of cutting and editing. In reality, they actually cut a lot of stuff. And I think we had the feeling that we're really confident in what we talk about. We didn't want to make too many edits. We didn't want to make this something that would be too much of a hassle because we knew that it would take a while for it to pay off. But ironically, for things like this to pay off, I think you have to put in the extra effort and go the extra mile. And we just didn't do that. We're kind of doing what Talk Tuah does, but with our own podcast.
We're actually talking Banks and
We're
Tranks.
talking Banks and Tranks.
Tuah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the other thing, what was cool about crafting the perfect dad joke is we did get also Reddit was involved. I really liked having like Reddit segments and showing kind of like it was a very interactive segment.
We were also like criticizing Reddit writers and being like, this is how you write better. This is our writing tips.
Yeah. And if we just made that episode just overtly like this is the episode about why Reddit kind of sucks, why Reddit writers suck, that would have been a really like cohesive, nice, great episode. So lesson number 3, do something cohesive. Now, this isn't required. We've seen episodes of the Hawk Tuah podcast, unfortunately. They don't need to be cohesive. But the reason why they aren't cohesive and they don't need to be cohesive is because you just have Haley Hawk Tuah. We don't have that kind of star power, right? We don't have the Hawk Tuah star power. We only have our ideas and our concepts. So we have to really talk about stuff that people are looking for that is relevant to them. I think having a discussion about Reddit and the writing on Reddit would have been relevant and also actually much more to what we were theory crafting in episode 5. And actually, let's go speed run through the next couple bottom episodes, but then digital footprint and Oscars. So you'll notice these are episodes 6, 7, and 8. They're not in the same order, but these were the episodes that we did right after episode 5, where we very openly did self-reflection, just like we're doing in this episode, of how we did the podcast. And I think we overcorrected from that point forward. All 3 of these episodes have kind of like a serious episode kind of sandwiched inside of it. The Mickey 17 segment in Crafting the Perfect Dad Joke, the Legend of Korra segment in Digital Footprint, and then the substance segment in the Oscars.
It's also a matter of our biggest takeaway from episode 5 was like, we're doing a writing podcast now. We're centering around writing, and I think we got kind of lost in the sauce of like reviewing our thing where they were like very bloated segments.
Yeah. And because then in those episodes we except for the Oscars, I would say, I guess kind of in the Oscars, but in Digital Footprint and Crafting the Perfect Dad Joke, there are actually segments where we're doing creative writing. We're coming up with a new name for Bia Badoobie. We're coming up with new names for different types of tattoos. And in Crafting the Perfect Dad Joke, we're coming up with the perfect dad joke. We're coming up with 2-sentence horrors. We're coming up with like a lot of different things there. And so we had that concept. I think we just tried to shoehorn it with the reviewing stuff, especially because I think one of the other things with episode 5 is we were going to review Wicked, and then we didn't review Wicked because we're
having a midlife crisis.
We're having a midlife crisis, blah blah blah. Then we did in the Oscars episode later. And it just didn't work out quite how we wanted. Actually, let's since we're gonna be talking about these, let's just kind of do these at the same time. What's your number 17?
So my number 17 was the puppet episode.
Yeah. What was your 16?
Jadeutsch episode.
What was your 15?
Writing Freakier Friday.
Okay. My number 17 is writing Freakier Friday / The Ultimate Conspiracy Theory Guide. Number 16 was puppets. Number 15, and this one is I think the one we diverge on the most, is I actually put episode 1 here. episode 1 and number 15. But then the number 14 is actually the Jadeutsch episode.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
actually, I would probably switch these. I would
one
probably.
and Jadeutsch.
Yeah.
I'm saying I kind of have like nostalgia for one. Like I feel like one is so like I made sure one was like in my top 10 because I was like I hold that one in like a high regard.
I like episode 1. I think if episode 1 was not as good as it was, we might have not even continued the podcast as long as we did. And I believe in this podcast as a concept to this day because of episode 1 and then episode 2, right? Really, the first 4 episodes.
Also, we'll get the first 2 hours of this episode.
You mean the first hour? That one, it's always one number up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So the first hour.
Yeah. It's not that long.
But yeah, okay, I guess we can kind of talk about like well, we similarly ranked the Jadeutsch and the puppet and the writing episode.
Yeah, so I would say basically after like these episodes, they're not bad, I don't think. I actually like these episodes. I think they have the opposite problem actually of what a lot of the episodes a lot of the other episodes might have. And it's actually, I think they were a bit too focused. They were a bit too one note
with
on their particular
that
idea.
one is basically just about me being a fake German person, and it's
that's
like
the whole episode
for 30 minutes of that.
Yeah, which it's fine. It was fine though that it was just 30 minutes. Like it's like at the length of a segment, so it's not bad. There's a lot of things that I like about it. There's a lot of good jokes in it, I think, and concepts, but it is just that one thing the whole episode, and it's just not as funny as the ones higher up. These are ones that they're like, again, I think the bottom 3 we genuinely wouldn't even rewatch. I don't think we wouldn't want to rewatch them, or we might just see parts of it. We'll just see
like
the clips.
Everything above that is like, I would say at least good baseline.
Yeah. So writing the ultimate conspiracy theory guide, this one is honestly so low for me. This one is the lowest one of the ones that I consider good because there is literally no reason to rewatch it when you can just rewatch the actual episode that we do based on it.
It's funny because I think we also wanted to capture our writing style and kind of be able to analyze that and play that back.
Yeah. We wanted to show that as part of it.
Yeah,
like it's an important episode, but it's like in those shows when they have like this episode that's like, oh, it's really about this character and to get to know them, but it is a boring episode, right? Like you have to really.
It's also something where I would just much rather watch the final product because the writing one is more about writing the jokes and the actual Freakier Friday episode is about us delivering the jokes.
them. So it's just it feels like too repetitive. So it's like if I had and I think the Freakier Friday one, that one is not in my top 10, but it's like close. So but yeah, puppets. I mean, that one was kind of a disaster. It was a lot of fun to make. Well, not even. It wasn't even fun to make because our arms were getting tired.
My arm was really hurting.
That was the real problem. And I think it would have been great if my arm wasn't getting tired actually. And we actually had some planning going into it.
That one was the most like, just turn on the cameras. We're just gonna do that.
but it was really fun seeing the interactions between the two characters, Chef and Pirate, and the kind of the gimmick of the puppets kind of being taken to its like final form, I think.
That one's just funny in like that one I hold in a similar regard to the Muslim episode because I'm like doing this idea, like I'm more attached to the idea than the final delivery, thing. But I'm still like, there's something in this idea. Like there's like, it's not a total loss or anything.
Yeah. No, I think we had to do it. I think it had to be done, and I think it had to be done more than the Muslim one.
Exactly,
but I still like the Muslim one as a concept because this is the thing. It also set up for one of my favorite episodes that I might even like. I'm actually looking at. I might even like bump it up because I really just love that episode. But yeah. Okay, so going. My number 14, 13, 12, and 11. I'll go 14 is episode 1. 13 is the Grammys episode, so episode 3. 12 is How These Podcasters Lost Millions. And 11 is Ultimate Conspiracy Guide. So I actually like all of these episodes. I actually love all of these episodes. I just like some of the other episodes that are in top 10 more.
I would agree with that. My 14 through 11 was the weekend review, and then the Eid episode, and then Dr. Pepper Pyramid was 12, and then we both agreed that Freakier Friday was our number 11.
Which is interesting, yeah. I think that one is our most like podcast episode.
Yeah, because
it's the fake podcast basically where we have characters that only appear in that episode, which is the host. Well, kind of, which is host. They kind of come back for Bong Joon-ho, which is like host Suhaib and then like
Akif Kilman. Yeah.
We come up with really good jokes in this one. How these podcasters lost millions is kind of like the like episode 1 part 2. Or sorry, I mean Ultimate Conspiracy Guide. Yeah, that's the one for the Freakier Friday episode. And it's just and the reason why we have how these podcasters lost millions kind of low. Or
you do, yeah.
I do.
Mine, yeah, we diverge on that one.
We actually diverge. Why I have it low is because it doesn't have a really concrete topic. I mean, this is the Oops No Topics episode. Got really good bits, but it's kind of hard for me to like remember the episode as a whole and feel like, yeah, this is like an episode I'm really proud of. It feels like something where it's literally designed to be a bunch of TikTok clips, and we haven't even posted a TikTok clip for it.
Yeah,
but it was the most, if we were to rank by what was the most fun to least fun episode to make, I think actually number 20, I think our bottom ones would still be our bottom ones.
That's true.
I think how much fun we had with these is definitely a factor.
I was gonna say,
but how these or Ultimate Conspiracy Guide it was definitely one of my like the funnest ones to do. How these podcasters lost millions, was one of my funnest.
How these podcasters lost millions was funny to do also because, was that the one where we also made stuff up that we didn't tell each other?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
That was a funny element.
So there's the part in that where you I have the what is it? The
Joey Bonzo restraining order.
It wasn't Joey Bonzo, it was the Jameson's restraining order.
Yeah.
Which is, it works on so many levels because he's the one that you introduced to replace like whoever we had before. So you would in theory, you were the most. Yeah, I was the one against him, and then you also mentioned, is he sleeping all right? As a total coincidence, that was not planned. And then I was like, interesting.
Yeah,
based on what I wrote,
it was one of those funny things where neither of us talked about it before, so I was genuinely surprised about it on tape, and also said something accidentally that made it even funnier.
Yeah, it was. This one was.
So on how to not make a podcast. Honestly, this might be on how to make a podcast. Is
have fun.
Yeah,
have fun with it.
Do some fun stuff.
Definitely do stuff. Like don't like discuss every detail. Like we tended to do this with basically every other episode, is we would discuss the details of what we're going to do on the episode. The best parts of that episode were definitely the details that we didn't discuss. And also it was funny how he came up with like the bits first, and I came up with my bits kind of later at like the last second, but I put like a lot of details into the bits. And so that was also funny, realizing that we could have like a difference in how we like do the bits and all that. Yeah,
I mean, it was also funny how much effort we put into making this list of ranking the episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say, what else is there here? Okay, I think one thing I was gonna say, so Eid is kind of low because it's number 13. One thing I wanted to say about that one is, I think this is a point where it's like a very plotty, like you gotta. Well, actually, wait.
The actual Eid special is very plot heavy.
There's a lot of plot
skit that comes before it. It connects from that episode, but I have it higher. I have it way higher up, and I'll get to it, and I'll talk about it when I get to it. But yeah, you can say your piece. Ben.
One thing I was gonna say about maybe in the how to not make a podcast is like having a like long running plot is, I guess, kind of intimidating to new people and stuff.
I think it should be done the way that old TV shows do it, where it's really in the background, it's not in the foreground. And I do think that we did do that for a lot of episodes. until we kind of got past episode 5. I think the problem was the stuff.
Then we
after
got
episode
really
5
into
is
the
kind of
plot.
like every single episode is very plot heavy to the point I was getting exhausted of doing. I was like, dude, we keep doing gimmick episodes. We keep doing these like episodes, and that's how we got to. I think that's how we got to how these podcasters lost millions.
Yeah,
basically.
the whole idea with that
what
one
led
was
up
it's
to
like
it.
we can't have a gimmick.
Like that one was
yeah.
the least plot, the least like planned. It was just like everything's out the window. That was kind of our episode 5 part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the 10 through or 11 through 14 is what I said. Number 10. So now we're starting to get into top 10. Let's do the bottom 5 of our top 10.
Okay.
So number 10, Diet Dr. Pepper Pyramid, so episode 5. Number 9, I put the weekend one. Number 8, I put Hooters. Number 7, I put Eat Special. Number 6, I put Bong Joon-ho.
Okay.
So that's kind of the bottom 5 of our top 10.
So my bottom 5 was number 10, Calculating Chances to Get into Hell. Number 9, episode 1. Number 8, Number 8 was episode 2, so that's the Elon. Yeah. Number 7 was the Grammys. Number 6 was the Hooters, and then number 5.
No, not number 5 yet.
Wait, what?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 5.
Oh,
bottom
okay,
5
yeah,
of top 10.
Yeah. So then, and then 6 was Hooters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so our Hooters are basically pretty similarly placed. What do you say was number 10?
Calculating Chances to Get into Hell.
Yeah, my calculus is actually in my top 5 and one of my favorite ones. It could arguably be in my top 2, even top 3.
I do really like that one because it's creative and it's like nobody else is doing this. So I was like, I had to make sure it's in my top 10. Low key, looking at this skin, I would potentially bump it up, but I don't. I'm not gonna edit it now.
I'll give my detailed thoughts about it when I get to that one. The Eat Special. Now this I can say, Eat Special. I felt like I rated this kind of low relatively. I only put it in the top 10 as kind of like like putting Hitler in the top 10 of the Hitler salutes. But cuz I know that I don't like the Eid Special as much as I like the Calculus episode, but I also connect those two together. And I think making the Eid Special was a lot of fun. We did a lot more stuff for it. I did a lot of editing for it. It took a while for me to actually to put that episode together. So what Jamathan is not a real guy, if you guys didn't fucking know.
Nobody even knows who that is because nobody's seen this podcast.
We're just talking to nothing. We're just talking to each other at this point. But I love how in the Eid Special we're just kind of having we're having some fun. We're bringing a bunch of jokes kind of back. It really felt like a nice, it just felt like a great finale it could have been the finale of the podcast itself.
It's true.
Like it was, it felt really final.
The other thing was, one thing I remembered also is that I guess we're going to talk about Calculating Hell, when you get to it, but I wanted to say also that since that is a recap episode, you could technically watch that and then 10, and then I think that's like a very good, double feature.
You mean then 11? Episode 10 is Calculus.
Oh yeah. 10 and then 11. That's kind of like a double feature.
Yeah.
I think I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it because I remember the stuff we had in there. I'm thinking about it like the tennis.
Yes, laser tennis, laser sports. No, we had a lot of great jokes, a lot of great concepts. I think the only weak part was us talking about maybe it was speed running the school lunch lady, fast riding.
Yeah,
I think that could have been more. I think that's what it is. I think more fleshed out, but it was a very short segment anyway, and the rest of it is so funny.
Yeah, I think my only thing with it was I think it had a slow start, but I do remember liking it more as it went on. And then laser tennis is just really funny, so because it's like also
redoing the Hitler salutes was top tier.
Oh yeah, the new Hitler salutes was great.
The new Hitler salutes alone and the laser stuff gets it into the top 10. I think it deserves the spot in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think the weekend director being in the top 10, part of that is because it actually got views. It's actually our most viewed episode. And what I really like about this episode was it's technically like a plot episode because it's got like the Dawood character for the whole like entire episode, but it just feels kind of, it actually does feel like a like something you could see in a podcast, where if you have, and it also feels kind of inspired by the Bong Joon-ho episode. It's the same like kind of concept of fake director of a movie, but he's not actually the director of the movie, coming up with bullshit about the movie. But my main thing is that it made going to that shitty movie so worth it, because we have,
that's actually true.
We have like something that we took something. My theory, I think, is I take something that is not that great, is it could even be shitty, and then I try to polish it into something good. And I feel somehow sometimes I'm able to actually turn it into gold, and that's why I'm actually pretty proud of that episode. And it's a nice short episode. You could just show that to anybody and be like, oh yeah, The Weeknd made this shitty movie. Like, as much as it's not gonna be like relevant, it might seem like it wouldn't have like as much longevity. It has as much longevity as The Weeknd as an artist has longevity, right? And I think he's got a lot of longevity. He's one of the most popular ones, and it's always will serve as a reminder of, oh, The Weeknd is a fucking awful actor, and he made an awful
movie maker.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that one, the concept is, I think, pretty interesting, to the point where maybe we could do another thing with it, where it is a movie review fully in character and fully as like pretending that one guy made the movie that you don't like very much, and the other guy's like this.
It helps also that we had nothing redeemable to say about the movie, because I think if you contrast that with Korra, Substance,
true,
and,
the other ones we would try
17,
to say the pros and the cons, and it would get really long.
Yeah, those ones were much more. There was more to say about it, because I think they had more substance.
Or Korra or Mickey's.
Yeah. Well, they had a lot of. They had 18 of them.
That's a million Mickeys. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see.
Should we get in the top 5?
What else?
What else? Let's see.
What else is on your list in the bottom 5, top 10?
Let's see. I actually have like.
Let's talk about Hooters. Let's talk about the Hooters.
Hooters, yeah. I do.
That's just a great episode.
Yeah.
Sorry to our man's Travis Kelce. The part that I don't really like as much is the discussion about the Kenya politics.
Which
not
is,
that
I
don't dislike it. It doesn't actually fit that well with the show.
It's not cohesive at all in that episode. But the rest of the episode, it's like all about Hooters and AI, and
which
like
is
this like
so
fake guy that
completely out of character. Like we were like, I remember this. We were like, dude, fuck it, yeah, it would be so funny to go to Hooters, right? Dude, when we finally get there, I was about to chicken out, if you remember, because I was like, dude, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to go to Hooters. That's so weird. It's such a weird concept to go into. And I'm not like at all one of the like sex negative Gen Z people. It's actually probably the opposite. It's like I'm very, very sex positive, and that's part of the reason why Hooters is so fucked to me.
Well,
because it's not actually like a place of. It's not like
honestly,
a strip club.
I don't.
It's not really. It's like
it's not even controversial to just be like Hooters is fucking weird, and when you enter it
feels like a misogynistic concept.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, we really analyzed it in the episode. We were like, what's up with their food isn't even good.
Yeah, like I don't think like a strip club would be like it's not inherently as like a concept misogynistic. It's usually often
and that's the thing is like when they make the inclusive Hooters with like all genders, that bisexual Hooters, when they make that, then that's something, but it's still fucked
bisexual
up.
And then it's like bisexual Hooters, then it's not even, you kind of lose the point of what Hooters
because then the old men are gonna be like, this is too woke.
Well, it just makes you realize that Hooters as a concept is just flawed.
I mean, I heard stuff of like they're gonna stop having them like they're going into like bankruptcy or something, just because it's like nobody in this generation
here's a thought. If they had good food, I would love it.
You know what? I think I love the
idea. I don't think I would mind it. I would be like, okay, that's a funny gimmick.
Yeah,
you've got good food though. No, that's great.
I think
that would make the gimmick
actually
work,
be hilarious, because it's one of those things where it's like, I saw this thing that was like a book review of a book with the wildest cover ever, but then you read the book and apparently it had like some very interesting writing choices that made the reviewer like, wow, I'm surprised this was similar. Hooters could have been like the terrible cover. You enter and it's a fine establishment with amazing food. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like that. Like that's just its gimmick. Like it's just okay. Yeah, there's titties at the restaurant. I would also make it where it's just. I think my main issue with it, and not to harp on this too much, but I think it's like. I think the biggest reason why it feels so misogynistic is because like stripper is like. That's just that in and of itself is just a job, right? Like just for comparison's
just
sake.
like
stripper,
fireman.
you can have a male stripper and you have male strip clubs. You
Can't
know?
have a male Hooters worker.
We even referenced it earlier, you know. But like waiters and waitresses, you can also have male and female. You know, you can have anybody be a waiter / waitress, a server, as the gender neutral term is. Anybody can be a server, and it's just weird when a lot of people actually associate the server job with women so hard already, with servers. How many women that like do service? Because I've worked in the service industry and I've also seen this, and I've talked to women that have worked in the service industry, and their main thing is that whenever they do food service, it's so easy for them to get sexually harassed, right? Why would you make an establishment where the goal is to hire women that get sexually harassed as like that's the concept of it. Like the concept, I think that's why it's gross. The concept feels like it comes from
it doesn't come from like a feminist perspective.
It comes from men having a safe space to sexually harass their waitress. That's what it is.
Women,
that I don't like that. I don't like that.
Need safe spaces to also harass men. I'm saying the same thing.
I think. You know what? Yeah, let's move on to.
Yeah, we have to talk about the podcast. Yeah,
Bong Joon-ho episode. This is kind of my last
episode.
one for number 6. I know this is this higher up for you, or is this also?
I think it's like in my top 5. I think
it's in your top 5,
probably.
I think it's worthy of being in the top 5. Honestly, I kind of have like a DEI spot taking number 2, so which is episode 2. Spoilers, but I love the Bong Joon-ho episode a lot. Regardless, it's basically honorary top 5. That one is it gets the points for being a unique episode. It's concise. It's like an hour. Before we started doing our 25-minute episodes, it was the shortest episode that we've done. It gets straight to the point. It's very focused, yet it also has an element of chaos to it because we have me asking the questions, Akif derailing it time to time, and then the friend of the podcast, Miles, being on here and just going along with the joke. We actually did not key him into the joke at all before. Which we knew would be risky because it's like, yo, this is kind of racist. It's low-key racist. But you know what? They cast a Chinese guy to play a Korean guy in Kim's Convenience. I think we can cast.
We're actually doing a criticism.
Cast a Korean guy to play a Korean guy who's gonna play a Chinese guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing with it also is we'd already had a thing of like having celebrities be the people that are not real, or the people that are real, and this was kind of just a graduation of that. This is a celebrity who's like out in the field making a movie about playing another guy for a biopic.
You're trying to put a deep explanation to this, but basically the day before we did the podcast, Akif was like, what if we have him be Bong Joon-ho, and Bong Joon-ho is making a biopic about Simu Liu called Shang-Chi 2.
Where he
just said that, and I'm like, sure. Because I'm a big yes and guy. I'm a big yes.
We both are.
Yeah. But I love that episode. That one is fresh. All right, top 5. Ready to talk about our top 5?
Pepperonis.
Top 5. I think we share some, but we have them in different spots. All right, we know we have the same favorite episode. But yeah, let's go over top 5. Number 5 for me is Disney Adult. What's your number 5?
Podcasters Lost Millions.
Yeah. You know that. See that one. So that one is probably our biggest diverging one because I put that at number 12 and you put that at number 5. I can see it go both ways. I have my own opinions about why that I talked before, but yeah, what do you like about that episode?
I put it up really high. I think I think it's another one of those where it's in high regard because I had a lot of fun making that one. Probably, but
yeah, I think it's a lot. It was a lot of fun making, but you pull forward the curtains. You pull the curtains over it instead of pulling them back. Then you realize that just watching it as an episode, watching it as somebody that's just watching it, it's not as funny, I think, as some of the other episodes.
Yeah, I think a stranger watching it doesn't know what the hell is
going on. Yeah, it's not going to be as fun because it's really chaotic. But I love it. But it's I think comparing like when I was lost when ranking these, but Akif suggested put them in a tier list, and then the tier list made it very clear, right, how I really felt about these episodes, and then that helped me rank them really. And yeah, I couldn't put how these podcasters lost millions above B tier. That was a B tier for me. A bottom 5 of top 10 is basically A tier. So, but yeah, since that one was in B tier, I knew it would be in the bottom 10 rather than the top 10.
Yeah, I think that's a matter of like
A tier for me.
I think it ended up in A for me, but it's still, let's see. I think the way it split it was my top 2 was S, and then like the next 3 were
my
A.
Top like 5 were S, or top 6 actually were S. My top 6. But yeah, the next number 4, and this one could really go high up, is the calculus episode. So I absolutely love the calculus episode. First of all, I don't think there's a single missed beat in that episode. I feel like every moment of that episode is really good. It's got maybe my favorite hook of any episode, which is, man, we fucked up. We just got off or actually didn't. I don't remember if we started with. No, we first started recording it, but then it's at the end of it where it shows the Audis coming back from the.
In the beginning, though, it still is a really good hook of, you guys, we fucked up.
We fucked up.
We drank all the Shamrock Shake out of the Chicago River
during Ramadan, breaking our fast. We had to do Marty. We come up with a bunch of random stories. We're coming up with the sin points. We're creating this really insane world. And that one was like the definitive, like, and that one also felt like such a return to form after so many like kind of stinker episodes that we had before that. Like Disney Adult, which I only put up at number 5. I know you have that way higher up, but Disney Adult, that was like we were getting back into it. That was the episode right before. A lot of fun to make that episode, but the reason I don't have this one just comes back to personal preference. I think the top 5. I like Disney Adult a lot. I think Akif's character is more fun than my character.
Yeah.
I think I love both characters a lot, but I think your character really stood out.
The fun part of it is the interaction between the two, but then at the end of the day, it is still something where it's like, the Disney Adult become like, I guess, kind of. He's an attention whore, and he's in the episode as an attention whore, so then it takes some of the attention away from the Sheikh, who's also a very good character because he's like he's like a non-standard Sheikh. Like, he has some progressive views.
Well, he's a Sheikh who really believes in knowing as much as possible. Like he doesn't think that you could waste your time on knowledge, that even if you're learning about like, what's on TikTok, what are all these like trends the kids like. The thing is about him is that he's trying to understand that so he can be like better at informing his Islam. And that's just like a concept, like as somebody that doesn't, practice Islam anymore, that's just like a concept that I like, because I think like teacher, like Islamic teachers at like Saturdays, the masjid school and stuff, who were like role models for me. And that was the mold that they really fit for me. I felt like they were able to connect like Islam with like my life and make it relevant to that, which was a lot like, they would talk about like why Justin Bieber sucks and is not Islamic, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's great.
No, it's a good type of Islamic teacher, because I also remember one talking about like how to combat like peer pressure as like a Muslim and stuff like that, like relevant topics.
Yeah, it made it relevant to me. It made it feel like I had a community to be a part of, and that's why even when I would eventually like not really practice as much anymore, I still like love the community and feel like I owe everything to the community, and I'm never gonna turn my back on the community ever in my life. But yeah, I think he's like a representation of that, and that's why I love that character, and I love the Disney adult guy for kind of the opposite reason. He's a concept. We took everything so I like everything I hate about nerd culture, and then everything you hate about,
Disney adults,
and closeted gay people, liberal. Like the closeted gay liberal weird. It wasn't even liberal. He felt like he was low key a Republican. He was like a Republican gay guy.
I do hate on the Republican gays, and also like
like the self-hating, like
the
gay,
self-hating
gay
are
people.
like
that's what it kind of was. Yeah, which
but also I feel like it's also not even fully a hate. It's also kind of like a
repression,
a different side.
Yeah.
To show like as that character, like it's like not exactly how I outwardly present, but it's sort of something that's like, okay, this is like a
caricature of like how you feel about your your feelings. Yeah, the character just feels so inspired, just like another character by Akif that we'll talk about later. But yeah, this is definitely, I mean, it's a top 5 episode for sure. This is like,
What's your number 4?
Number 4 was Calculus. I talked about that.
My number 4 was Bong Joon-ho. So
Bong Joon-ho, that's great episode. Number 3 for me was War on Easter. Where'd you put War on Easter?
I actually put number 3 Minecraft movies. Yeah, War on Easter.
Okay, so we actually have the same one. Yeah. That episode is fantastic.
That one's
one of my favorite episodes.
That one, Sean is just such a Shawn Mendes, of course, is such a funny addition to us too.
Yeah, I just had lunch with him. Dude, Sean is funny in a very different way than I think we're funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think Travis is actually, I would say Travis's comedy is actually more in line with us.
I would agree,
because it's a very like
Twitter humor.
Well, yeah, they're both Twitter users.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like he's got kind of like Travis has the same kind of, I think, whimsicality that we have. You know what I mean? Like we like that kind of like we can really live not in the real world. Sean has like
Sean is like more grounded
version. Yeah, he's almost like a real guy, but it's like
he's almost normal.
Yeah, he's almost normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such an interesting character to have on the podcast, to interact with our characters, but then also just concepts he was coming up with, concepts we had. But then finally, we broke our curse of making a movie review clip that was actually really, really good.
That's true.
It's our best. It's to this day our best movie review.
Yeah, Minecraft movie is actually a funny review because also the fact that I didn't even watch it.
You didn't watch it, so we were explaining to you.
I'm trying to like wrap my head around.
But then also,
I
haven't played, and I sincerely have not played Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. But I've played.
Seriously, have not. I love games.
And then Sean was the only one that did both.
I think I didn't play Minecraft because when Minecraft was coming out, and I saw you were getting into Minecraft, I was like, "Ooh, Minecraft's like for babies." I think that's what it was because I would have been like, I was like 12, 13.
I didn't have a beard yet, so you could say that.
Yikes.
Basically.
Dude, can you believe it? This guy. He's not even 20. And I'm 25, and that's his beard, and this is fucking my beard. This is the best that it gets. This fucking sad shit, okay? It's a look, I guess, but that's why I'm going to the gym every day now, so I can get a better beard. It's gonna work. I promise.
You're gonna find her one day.
Yikes.
She'll be real muscular.
Yeah, we made a joke with me and my ex, who I'm not gonna name, but she was bi, and we made a joke that we could be each other's beards. I was like, I'm good.
Nice breaking up after that. Yep.
Yeah.
So my number 2 was the Disney adult. Yippee!
Yeah, it's just a classic episode, man.
Oh my god.
It's
oh my god, you like me that much? No.
It's fresh, it's fun. My number 2 is Elon Likes German History, and I think this is when we can talk about this episode.
Really good
Regardless,
one.
if we were to make a ranking of the most important episodes rather than our favorite episodes, this would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
This would be your top 5.
Yeah.
This
Because we never stopped referencing.
This is where the Whitey Tidy Factory came from. This is where Severance
top 10
came
Heil
from.
Hitlers,
The Heil Hitlers.
How to make money at your job. We just
how to
did
make
that
money at
again
your job.
today from episode 2.
Only one. What was it? How to make thirst traps.
How to
was
make
in that
Islamic
episode?
thirst traps.
Whatever.
We
never
got rid of
we
the Islam.
never referenced that.
How to not make a podcast. Do not have your demographic be Muslims because they do not like
They
it when
get
you
pissed
make
off.
fun.
They get pissed off. That was a
Yeah.
problem with the Travis episode as well, where we
We're
made
talking
that
about
joke
how
and we made that
halal
clip.
femboys are.
And it's our most successful clip
Mhm.
of all time, and it's on Instagram Reels, and it's purely because a bunch of Muslims hated that clip where we said
Mhm.
you can, as one of your 4 wives, you can have a femboy
Yeah.
because they can't you can't take a
Oh,
joke
sorry.
for some reason.
No. That one wasn't highly viewed. The femboy wasn't highly viewed, but the
all right, the being bad Muslim.
being a bad Muslim.
That one was negatively received.
They
but this
liked it because it was technically not pro or anti-Muslim. You could interpret it either way.
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 2 is. I think when we finished it, we were like, man, this is not as good as episode 1. And now, ironically, I think we've rated it above episode 1 in each of our lists.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we kept referencing, I think because also the concepts of it we always liked, and then we kept referencing concepts of it over and over again, and then it was like, it's also made it better.
It's also got the Young Sheldon Clips guy clip.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. Because how to make money at your job.
It really is like, Arrested Development episode 2, which is like, I think the most referenced episode in that show, right? It's got Banana Stand. It's got like stuff with like George Michael. It's actually, I guess Tobias wasn't in that one. Tobias doesn't come back until episode 3, but fresh episode. I think what's really great about this is, it really like, it's also a period piece because we even talked about specifically about Elon, but then even we don't need it. It was barely about Elon because then we just started making the Nazi salute thing. That's where we came up with the fundamental concept of Banks and Tranks, where we're going to start with like the artifice of, we're going to talk about this and then not talk about that and just do something funny and do something just like different.
Which, number 10 on how to not have a podcast is
don't be funny.
Don't be funny,
Don't be
because
actually
low-key the unfunny podcasts are the more successful ones. Or like
we're not salty. We're not salty.
I've never had a salt in my bones in my life.
We're not being salty right now.
I never had a single
at the end of the
grain
day.
of salt in my
At
bones.
the end of the day, I think our humor absolutely can translate into a podcast. But I think the way that we did episode 1 is we really went into character on those characters. And so then we felt like we had to keep being in character until finally we broke character. And that felt like such a fresh, like such a genuine episode, such an episode like we should do this for the podcast. And then we instead I think we just really lost the plot from there for a few episodes. And then eventually we went all the way back to just being really deep into characters. Ultimately, like if we're going to make a podcast, we've got to actually talk about something of substance, have like a topic that we really address and really get through, because we don't have the star power. We need something else to go off of, and it needs to be one thing. Number 11, or actually this is one of the earlier tips that we mentioned. Number 11 is have a list of the stuff that you're talking about written down so you can go back to reference it again. But number 12, which could be an earlier one I think we did mention, is be like focused for each episode.
Yeah.
And actually this is I think different. Be focused for the whole podcast. Like have like a thing that your podcast is about, and whether like you can be either you can be really knowledgeable about it, or you can just have a lot to say about it. Being funny is actually being funny is the most important part. But that's what it's like. The people always say, I came here for this and I stayed because it was funny. We don't have I came here for this. We're like, hey, look, we're funny. Look at how funny we're so funny. I stand by the idea that we're pretty good with humor.
I mean, we're pretty comical.
Whether or not our humor is for everybody, that's a different question. But I think it is for somebody. I think we get it from pretty strong inspirations, and we do have some people that enjoy this. It's just that the humor is not enough to get you on board. There's so many funny things to watch out there. We're not the only funny ones. So we just had to talk about something relevant. Okay, so or be something relevant. Those are the two options. So we can't be like Fear and because they're all people that are relevant.
Real.
Can't be Talk Tuah because they're people, but we could be like Talking Tuah, which talks about something that other people are interested in a unique way. So number 13, have good, unique content ideas that are content that gets people interested, gets people in the door.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 2. At the end of the day, though, like it showed our breadth. It showed our ability to talk about so many different things. Honestly, one of our biggest flaws. I hate the fact genuinely that our biggest flaws are like we're too smart. We're too
original.
We're too original. We have too many
funny,
things. But the problem is that it is in and of itself a skill to be able to filter out things and to be hyper focused on a specific thing. And that's just a skill that we have not applied within the podcast, but maybe in the future we will find a way to do that.
Maybe
then you'll actually be here this far into the episode and you're going to be like, "Oh my god, this is where they started it."
Yeah.
This is where they started that thing. We're not going to say what it is.
All I'm going to say is Kitty likes to meow. Rawr.
Okay.
Oh,
Dr. Klaus.
Okay, sorry. I thought
don't say my name. Then it gives it away.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna pretend I wasn't real, and I was gonna be like, man, now I look weird. Anyways, number one.
Number one. We had the same number one. Very easy. Drum roll, please.
Hood Classic
versus British guy.
Producer.
This.
Yippee.
Okay.
All right. We're not fucking around.
This was
anymore.
great. Number 15. This episode was the definition of how to not make a podcast and the definition of how to make sketch comedy. Because these characters are just I just love these. I love both of these characters a lot. It's not like in the Disney episode where I really, really love the Hood Classic, or not the Hood, the Disney adult character. The Shake character, I like. He means a lot to me, but not necessarily like the funniest.
No, it's generally
what's really special about these guys.
Sir Habe and Hood Classic.
You can mix them up.
Elite.
You could have them be on their own. We were talking about this before we made this episode. I was like, I think one problem we have in making our videos and our podcast is actually that each of us are such strong personalities on our own that we can actually have like things that stand up. We've even done this on our own like TikTok accounts where we've made like successful videos where we're talking about stuff that's relevant to us. That's like, reach just different types of audiences. And I think that when we get onto the podcast, a little bit of wanting that kind of attention ends up clashing. I think the best podcasters, you look at Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is not the main character of his podcast. Joe Rogan is a conduit for the audience. Talk Tuah, they're not the main character of the podcast. They're a conduit for the audience. The main character is the Talk Tuah podcast. The Talk Tuah podcast, Haley Welch is not the main character of the podcast.
It's
Total
the other
Nonsense
bitch with
is
the name.
No, Total Nonsense is the main character of the podcast. It's the audience is the main character of the podcast, right? It's just people like listening to it. And so that's the thing. I think we are so like we're main like character coded. We're good. We have very strong auras, and I think those two characters, they also like they capture our comedy perfectly. Yeah. I think they're like the quintessence. I wouldn't say they're the peak of our comedy. I think we'll keep improving our craft, but the stuff that we find funny, the things that we find funny, they capture it so much, and for us, especially what we individually find funny, and also what we each other find funny about each other, right? That like, I think both of them are kind of just the opposite of who we are in a way, but also so much of who we are. Like British Producer he's the opposite of me in the sense that he really cares about like rules. He really cares about like
looking posh,
looking polished. I mean, I do care about my looks, but he cares about like British Parliament. He cares about all this like nonsense, and he really cares about society.
How his name is pronounced,
and he's the son. Yeah, I don't give a fuck how my name is pronounced, but he does, right? I actually, now that you bring it up, yeah, that's something I never cared about ever.
Sahib.
And for him, I like people will be like, "I'm sorry if I butchered your name," and I wish I could express to them how little I care. But it's like, what's the point?
But it's like after you do, then they're like, "Oh, you must care a lot if you're gonna tell me about it."
It's like
not even worth.
No worries, or I'll just correct them anyway because that's what they want. They want to hear it. They want to hear it said correctly or the way that I want to. Those
guys that are like, "No, I don't want to say it right."
Okay. Yeah, it's you know it is what it is. But my big thing with the British producer guy is that he's also like, I want to be kind of the main character, you know, in a way, in a sense of like, if I love music, like that's a real thing about me. And I make music, and I would want to be like a solo musical artist who's kind of doing everything. But his whole shtick is he's trying to find another guy that he's going to sign on to his label. He's only going to do the business stuff. Like, he likes all of the stuff about the music industry that I hate. He is the music industry that I hate. Like, he's a big part of that. And he's the son of J.K. Rowling, and he works for the Queen. Like, it's so like over the top, like nothing to do with who I am and kind of stands. I mean, I hate British people.
Whoa! Our humor's British. We need to sell these copies.
British people hate themselves too, so I think they're gonna love hearing that. We hate you guys, and we know you hate yourselves. Please listen to our podcast.
Please season your food.
Yeah, do that. Dude, that's such a played out joke. Okay,
well, I'm
you
just
guys
saying,
need to add some hot sauce to your food.
If you're gonna be eating the food while watching the podcast, this is something they don't talk about. If you're watching a YouTube video while eating your food, the food better taste good. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel a little bit like, ugh. Like, I can see that food that tastes bad, dude, if you're eating it.
Oh my god, but Hood Classic, just
it's everything I hate. Because
literally
it's
nothing.
Like, well,
about
it's
you're
just
not
it's just the most like, I am a high school wannabe rapper, druggy, like,
but actually I'm also good at school,
but also
I'm like kind of like,
I'm totally throwing away my future.
And ironically, there's parts of him that parody like me as a person because I was kind of that guy in high school where I wanted to do rap, but I was also really good at school, and I also grew up in the same place. Like, it's kind of the same ideas, but I was way more self-aware than I think he was. But my favorite thing about him is how fucking cocky he is. He oozes like a confidence that
like,
is
I'm better
so
than Playboy Cardi
type.
Yeah,
like he uses a kind of confidence that
compared to me.
He uses a braggadocious confidence that you're a confident person, but you're confident in your ideas. You're not confident in the person, Akif. Well, Hood Classic is so deeply confident in Hood Classic.
Yeah, I think because I feel like with my confidence, people don't like get like this guy has an ego about him, but Hood Classic is like, this guy has an ego.
Hood Classic is like
him.
Egotistical, right? I think Akif in real life has like a nice balance of confidence. Hood Classic is egotistical in the funniest ways because he's so fucking bad also at rapping, because Akif doesn't do any kind of rapping.
I can't fake that part, so
that's why it's just great.
Yeah.
And their dynamic is just funny, and we rehearsed so much of it, and we didn't rehearse it because we were planning to make the episode. We rehearsed it so much because we just love the characters. We love being those characters.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's the jokes also, like the Harry Potter jokes.
The Harry Potter and the chess
is the chess joke. Easily the best joke that. Now, I do think it's actually like one of the most like obscure jokes, right? If we think about it, like among our good jokes, I think we love our obscure jokes the most. Like we love our calculus humor. We love our nerdy humor a lot.
A person laugh total.
We love our we went to Blue Valley North High School humor a lot. We really love that shit. I think, dude, that's what our target audience should be.
high schoolers
People
at
who
that
used to go to
school.
BVN.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know, I gotta ask our mirror images about that. I gotta show
Yikes.
them some stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Our Wario and Waluigi. We're the Wario, and Waluigi. They're
I
the
think that's
Mario
so-
and Luigi.
I believe that. They didn't seem as evil as us. I think that's the one vibe.
You
I got
know-
from
Good point.
them. I think we're you know, and that's rule number 0 of making a podcast. Be evil. I think we got that down.
We did that one.
I
We did
think-
that one.
You know, so here I just want to get up on my soapbox and talk about this for 1 second. I believe in being evil to achieve the good things. I'm sorry.
You're a
I'm-
radical, moderate,
You know what?
anti.
Yes, I am a radical, moderate, anti. I am anti, by the way. I really hate these contrarians a lot. Even if I frame stuff in a very contrarian way, generally, like, my main belief is hope, optimism. I'm a very optimistic person. You have no idea how. I mean, you can't make 20 episodes of a shitty podcast without being optimistic, right?
Right.
Every week.
Who said it's shitty? No
It's-
one,
it's-
because nobody watched
Nobody
it.
watches it.
It's actually good.
It's actually a very funny
It's actually
podcast.
only has 3 bad episodes. That's what we said. As
It does have only 3 bad episodes.
17.
I still stand by that. Actually, like, going in and ranking it and then doing this episode, I'm like, dude, like, I don't even care that much if nobody watches this podcast. Like, it's
Exactly.
just so much
It's like
fun to
it's
make.
like your little sketchbook that you have on the side that nobody saw.
And
but there's
it
some
allows
good
us to
sketches
practice
in it.
Yeah. And I think we should keep practicing. It's just, you know, we're gonna take a break from. I think, you know what? Officially, this is the season 2 finale. We will be back. We were gonna do a thing where we were gonna make you guys beg for it, but we will be back.
I want you guys to beg for it still. If you beg for it, I will be happy because I like it when people beg. Yippee, begging. Ugh, I hate it when my sister begs though.
Drugs.
The war they won.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah. So we're done.
I hate cynicism. I hate people who are like, we can't do better things. We can. Look at New York City. Look. Yes, of course. Yeah, people were saying, oh, the countries...
Muslims or brown men are on the up and up.
Oh yeah, Muslim brown men. I think they are on the up and up, and I think they should all be like Zoran Mamdani. He met his wife on Hinge.
I heard about
She's
that.
so hot.
I saw about that.
I'm back on Hinge now.
I heard
because of
about
him.
that. I heard about that, and I saw about that, and I also saw a lot of people re-download it. So I'm thinking the hotties are back in after that, perhaps. So call me.
All right.
maybe.
Anyway, but I did start the gym back again recently. I've been really disciplined lately. Hopefully, when this podcast comes back, I'll be ripped. And if I am,
too.
I will be wearing a crop top.
Oh.
That's always been my dream, is to wear a crop top
Mm.
with abs. Maybe that's a year away, but not 3 months away, which is probably when this is going to come back.
I'll just wear like a
We should.
vest.
You want to bring this back in like September, October?
Whenever they start begging for it, or whenever I start begging for it, it could be me that begs. So
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
wait. Yeah.
Anyway,
Peace
for
out.
those of you, aka exactly Sean, thank you for watching this podcast. We hope you support us in our future endeavors of Don't Be a Loser University, where 2 furry professors are going to be teaching you about how to not be a loser. And this sounds like a
and
joke,
if you say that that's a bad idea,
it's a
then
bad-
you're a fucking idiot.
and you're a loser, and you actually need
And you
us.
need the university to teach you.
You need us.
We have
to be
PH
honest.
doctorates, and we know.
And I don't think we're actually. I
that
don't think we're
lying?
gonna do the furry. I thought we were gonna do like the TV host, the Weather Channel guy. Like you're like the field reporter.
But the kitty needs to meow. Dr. Claus.
Well, we can still do the animated TikTok stuff, like the cartoon, the drawing stuff.
I just want to be a hot tiger. Rawr.
What the hell? Sure.
I'm at the banks with my day ones. I got trains going by. I say things with the cops around. I'm scared for my life. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the rings. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the rings. Bank of America, the tranks of Atlantis. If I ain't got nobody, I got robbed, I got trinkets. Banks and trains, banks and trains, banks and trains, banks and... Banks and trains and banks and trains, banks and trains, banks and trains and banks and... I'm at the banks with my day ones. They got trains going by. I say things, but the cops around. I'm scared for my life. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the rings. They got banks with the trains, with the tanks and the rings. Yeah, we fucking up the city, certain rights, cause we like to rob banks. Lesbian private with this bitch. You were taking that from me. All my homies love them tranks. Fuck 12, 4, 47, put a shit on my brethren. I'm a host, better get